I've had lots of messages this morning from people saying their dog is watching BBC Breakfast going crazy. So, Steve, let's try a little experiment, shall we, and see how the nation's dogs react to this. Everybody all together, you ready? Walkies! Walkies! Come on! Right, get them off the leads. Let's let them go for a pelt across the fields. Go on! Look at them go. Hey! You're very well behaved. Go and have a play, meet your friends. Look at that, hey? Go for it. Organised chaos. Don't you wish you were a dog?
Jane, thanks so much. You know, that just looks like bliss. This little brown one here, I mean, it's that one there, just there, full of joy. Look, so excited to just about being alive.
Freedom at last. Look at them go.
Lovely. I don't think that one's allowed off the leash because it's just so busy.
But it doesn't know it yet.
Oh.
8:50 is the time now.
Cast your mind back, if you can, if you're able to August 1970. Ted Heath had become Prime Minister. A pint of beer cost 20p. A young presenter made a debut appearance on the BBC, hosting a new show. It was called Sounds of the 70s on Radio 1.
His name was Bob Harris, and he went on to do rather well. Whisperin Bob, as he became known, is now celebrating 50 years in broadcasting on both radio and TV. You can speak to him in just a second. First, though, let's see some of his work.
I'd like to say just a word of thanks, first of all, to all of you who voted us once again the #1 television programme in this year's Melody Maker poll. Heavy. Great. And that was Dirty Pictures. The Man Possessed, that's Meatloaf. Didn't anybody ever tell them that's a terrible name?
We're here after 30 years away.
3 minutes past 7, BBC Radio 2 on a Thursday evening between now and 8 o'clock. It's the music of Bob Harris Country.
You were wonderful.
Among the people we'll see on the programme, Led Zeppelin, John Lennon, Bad Company, Jackson Browne, Joni Mitchell and many more to come. Cheers. And that was No One's More Important Than the Earthworm. How true that is.
Open it and it's... And we can speak to Bob now. Very good morning to you, Bob.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well. Can I just check something with you first? You know, the BBC loves guidelines. I saw that one of the opening shots in that film we just showed, that little compilation, was you wearing a shirt which I think, I was looking carefully, had maybe 4 buttons undone. Were there regulations around? Did you have a controller sort of saying 1 up, 1 down, Bob, too much today? Did you have regulations in those days?
I was talking to Steve Wright the other day, and he said, "Why didn't you smarten up?"
I'm looking at it now. You probably can't see this, Bob. We're actually looking at the picture now, and yeah, I think there's at least 3 buttons undone there.
Yeah, it was funny actually because there was a huge amount of freedom in those days. You know, particularly in the studio and on Whistle Test itself, we didn't have health and safety or any of those kind of issues in the mid-1970s. So I suppose you could get away with a little more then than you could now.
Bob, does it feel like 50 years of broadcasting for you?
Well, not really, Naga. No, it just feels like an amazing moment, this, where I can have the opportunity to just look back for a moment over those 50 years. And I still feel kind of in my head, I'm still 24. So, you know, in some respects, it doesn't even feel as if time has moved on very much. But obviously, things have changed enormously in the world, in broadcasting, at the BBC, in music. You know, it's a very different world now, 50 years on.
I imagine 50 years ago, you would have known that technology would advance and, you know, you'd have lots of different career opportunities once you finally got your foot in the door. How's it been broadcasting for you during this pandemic? Because, you know, so many people are broadcasting from different places, from home, no guests in the studio. This is something no one could have foreseen.
I'm broadcasting from exactly where you see me now, is where I'm doing my Radio 2 shows. The country show I actually pre-recorded on a Tuesday evening when it's nice and quiet. I send the music through to my producer, Mark Hagan, who then knits the links and the music all together. So it's been, you know, I've been sort of isolating here through most of this time. And what I miss more than anything, to be honest, is the studio here, as you see it, we do sessions here. The studio sits under the apple tree at the bottom of my garden, and we've got an open door policy here for grassroots musicians who come in and play live. There's literally a studio sort of area, session area down the other end of the studio there. So we're used to having lots of people around, and I love that, particularly the younger bands, the energy they bring in. And of course, with COVID, they've not been able to get out on the road. So the studio's been very quiet, and I found that really, you know, really unusual and different. In fact, you know, all of this has struck me to such an extent that looking forward, I'm trying to put together, or we're in the process of putting together a wonderful recording to benefit the grassroots musicians who've had it so tough over the last few months in COVID. We've got an all-star cast recording my favorite ever song. So it's Stand By Me, and we've got a GoFundMe page, and we're hoping to put the single out at the end of October, and hoping it will raise loads of money for the musicians to help them through this difficult time.
Bob, it's such a good idea. Lovely talking to you. Can I just very quickly, the CD collection in the background, is it done alphabetically or is it genre-based?
Alphabetically.
Alphabetically.
Oh, my respect for you has gone through the roof.
That's the best way. Lovely to speak to you, and really nice. 50 years is amazing, and it's still lots of people loving your broadcasting, as we all know. So really nice chatting to you this morning. Thank you.
Cheers, Charlie. Thank you so much.
Oh, BBC Radio 1's Greg James is going to be interviewing Whisperin Bob. His 50 years in broadcasting. The programme, called Bob and Greg, is airing on Radio 2 on Saturday at 9 p.m.
And now, just time for one last story for you this morning. We've been...
And then what?
I was like asking friends to share it, support, whatever they could do. And just out of the blue, my friend just messaged me saying, oh, Taylor Swift donated. But I didn't think was the full amount. And then when she screenshot my GoFundMe page and she sent it to me, I was just like, wow, I need to sign in to check. And I did, and the money was there.
So you hadn't gone directly to Taylor Swift to ask her for it at all?
Oh, no.
So, and I've got to ask, are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Yes, and I think I will now for the rest of my life.
So what did it jump from and to? So what was it at when Taylor Swift intervened?
It was just, I don't know, I'll call it a blessing personally, because for her to donate to more than 50% of what I needed, it just blew my mind, because I never expected that to happen, if that makes sense. It was really different. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. Make sure you make the most of it with your studies and enjoy it as well.
Yeah.
Vittorio Mario, thank you very much. Taylor Swift, I think Vittorio would say thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
That is quite some intervention. 8:58 the time now. That's all from Breakfast today. We are, of course, back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
Do have a very lovely day, whatever you're up to. Bye-bye.